This is the art of plenty. I have this part of my personality that I don't actually like. And if you follow along, you know that personal development is one of the topics I dive deep into in the art of plenty. It's kind of my jam in a lot of ways. So for me to have a part of myself that I don't like and not to be able to actually change it is a real struggle. And I've been working on fixing what I see as a problem, what I know is a problem for the better part of my adult life, and it still eludes me. And that feeling of incompetency totally sucks. My birthday week, it's coming up. And yeah, I know, I said birthday week and I mean it. You see, my birthday and my husband's birthday are really close together. They're a week apart. So as soon as his birthday is over, I'm in birthday mode for myself. And when I think about birthday, when I think about my birthday, I really like to contemplate all of the things I'm excited about, that is going on in my life. I just feel so much gratitude for being able to be alive and for all of the things that are happening and have happened to me. And I really like to spend time around my birthday contemplating the last year and what's been happening and where I'm going, because again, I'm super driven by personal development, and my birthday feels like a wonderful anniversary to think about self-growth and to think about how I want to change or how I have changed. And I come by this honestly in some ways, because my dad, when he turned 70, which was a few years ago now, he did this incredible feat. He made a list of all of these things that he wanted to do, and they were in the number 70. So for example, he went for a bike ride, like a motorcycle ride that was 70 kilometers. He ran up 70 flights of stairs. Yeah, I'm serious. 70 flights of stairs. He did 70 squats. He had this incredible list. He wanted to bless 70 people. And when it was his birthday, that is what he did. He spent the day doing all of these 70 things. And if you want his list, send me a message and I will share with you the things he did. And it was a way for him to celebrate, I'm 70 and this is what I'm doing. And this is how I'm marking this time in my life. And I remember when I turned 30, I did something similar. I made a list of 30 significant things that had happened in the previous decade, my decade of being in my 20s. And it was really humbling to think back to all of these moments that were significant. And it felt like such a beautiful way to mark my birthday, my 30th birthday. But this isn't the only way that I follow my dad's footsteps. Neither of us are very good at receiving gifts. And it has nothing to do with whether or not we're good at giving gifts, but we don't actually know how to receive a gift from our loved ones. And I have another brother that's like this too. And his stance on it is, don't buy me anything. Do not get me a gift. I'll just get my own and don't even worry about it. And as such, he's super hard to buy for. And he just tells his family, like, don't get me a gift. I don't want it anyways. And here's the part that I really don't like about myself is because I'm so terrible at receiving gifts, I have ruined so many thoughtful opportunities for connection between me and my loved ones, to the point that I actually have hurt their feelings, and not just once or twice hurt their feelings, but to the point where my husband doesn't even like to buy me gifts because it causes him so much anxiety that I'm not going to like it. And here's the deal. He gives really thoughtful gifts. He actually spends time thinking about what I would like. And consequently, because I'm so terrible at receiving gifts, I've made the experience of purchasing gifts for me extremely anxiety provoking. And my mother, my own mother, when she gives me a gift, she often tells me what the gift is in advance. Like a couple weeks before my birthday, she'll start telling me her ideas for me. And she's waiting to see, am I going to like it? Would that be a good idea? And she often does that rather than just giving me a gift. And I think she has the double whammy because she also purchases gifts for my father and for me. So she's experienced that anxiety-provoking disappointment from not only giving me gifts, but also from giving my dad gifts. And I ruin the joy for my mom, and I ruin the joy for my husband in giving me gifts because of how I react, which makes birthdays and Christmas really stressful at times because I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be so rude and so inconsiderate when somebody is actually thinking about me and wanting to express their love to me through a gift. And I feel the burden because I know I'm going to let them down. I can't fake it. I have no poker face when it comes to this. Even if I like work myself up beforehand, like no matter what, just smile. And I can't even express gratitude. Like I will say thank you, but I can't express sincere gratitude in the moment, which is incredibly embarrassing. I mean, I'm an adult. I should be able to be loving. I should be able to express thankfulness for a gift that somebody has thought about me and is showing that they love me. So here's the deal. I'm trying to solve this pragmatically. I am trying to figure out where did this come from and why am I acting like this and why can't I shake it? Why can't I change the way that I am? Because I don't want to be like this anymore. And I haven't wanted to be like this for a long time. And I don't want to continue hurting my family's feelings. And I don't want gift buying to be a problem for my husband. Like the last few years at Christmas and my birthday, I pretty much just tell him, this is what I want you to get me. Buy this for me. So then I don't have the surprise or the struggle. So I'm trying to figure this out, okay? Because my brain goes into problem-solving mode because I definitely am a problem solver and I'm determined that I'm going to fix this. So I'm going online and I'm like, what are the reasons people suck at receiving gifts? And here's the list that Google provided for me. One reason people can't receive gifts is because they feel like they don't deserve it. They have a low self-worth. That's not me. If you're watching YouTube, you know I'm shaking my head. That is not me. I do not fit that reason. I don't have a low self-worth, and I definitely don't have any sense that I don't deserve a gift. I don't even think that one iota. Not even for a second do I feel that way. Now, does that mean that other people have that experience or don't have that experience? Well, I can't really speak for anyone else, but I do know that there are a lot of people that do have lower self-worth, so I could see that that could impact their ability to receive gifts. The second one that came up is that people don't want to be in the spotlight. Again, nope. That's me. I'm quite comfortable. I don't have a problem speaking in front of crowds. I don't have a problem being on stage. I don't have a problem having attention. It's not something I shy away from. It's not something that I feel like I need to have all the time or that I want to seek out being in the spotlight. But I will say this, I don't like it when people give me gifts and watch for my reaction to the gift. I don't want that attention because, like I said, it usually results in me actually hurting people that I love. But that isn't the reason why I'm terrible at receiving gifts. It has nothing to do with not wanting to be in the spotlight. The third one is a feeling of guilt, that you ignore your own needs and therefore it's hard to receive gifts because you feel guilty about it. Again, that isn't the reason. I don't have a problem with feeling like my needs could be met by gifts. I don't ignore myself or my needs. I think I've said this before in my episode about not being maternal, if you haven't listened to it, but just talked about I'm not one of those selfless mothers. I actually spend a lot of time doing self-care. I spend a lot of time feeling like I can take time for myself and I can give myself good gifts. So there isn't a guilt association with it that I need to ignore my own needs. The next one is that people don't want to receive gifts because then they feel like they owe something back, that it's something that person who's given the gift holds over them, as though they're in debt for the gift given. And I don't think about that, because when I give gifts, I give them without expectation that things are going to be returned. So when people give things to me, I'm not concerned that I now owe them, so please don't give it to me. I don't think that, because for the most part, I think gifts are a generosity, and I know that when you give something, it's so rewarding to the person who gets to give. So when somebody gives something to me, I definitely don't think that I owe them something in return. I know that it is, in fact, a gift. Another thing that came up in the list is that to receive gifts requires vulnerability, and some people have a hard time receiving gifts because they have a hard time being vulnerable. I don't fit that bill. I'm really comfortable with my vulnerability and being transparent about it. I think I do that week after week when I show up in this podcast. The last thing on the list about why it's difficult for some people to receive gifts was that it's as though the gift is purchasing something, like your silence, or that they're making something up to you. So when I think about that, I think of abusive relationships, which may or may not be the case, but that's the image that comes to my mind, that people have a hard time receiving gifts because they know the price that it's coming to. They're trying to make up for something. It's an apology. And the people that I struggle to receive gifts from are primarily people that are close to me. And that's not the situation. I don't know if I have ever received an apology gift from my husband. If he does something to hurt me, he just says sorry, and we talk about it and we work it through. It never comes with a tangible physical gift. And I don't know if that's because I've totally destroyed his interest in actually buying me gifts, or if he just doesn't think that is a way to repair damage. So there isn't this idea that somebody's paying me off by giving me a gift. I don't know what to think of it. I don't know what to think of why it's so hard for me to receive a gift. I just wonder, is it because in my past I've been controlling, and I sometimes struggle with that need to be controlling, which I think was connected to my anxiety before, but now I don't feel like I am as controlling as I was when I was in my early 20s. But I still really struggle to receive gifts. And I can't get to the bottom of it. So then my next question that I asked myself was, well, is there a specific type of gift that I have a hard time receiving? Or is it from a specific person that makes it difficult to receive? And I feel like this is going to make me sound like a monster. But when my kids give me gifts, they're somewhat easy to receive, but it doesn't necessarily feel like the kind of gift that really melts me or makes me feel appreciated or loved, even though I do like it when they give me things. Oftentimes when my kids give me gifts, it's because they've made it for me, and I can see their face and I can see their expectation and their excitement. And even if I don't feel the way that I think I should feel about receiving their gift, I can kind of fake it. Again, I feel like a monster for saying it. But if somebody gives me a gift like buys me lunch or gives me a cup of coffee or offers to help me out, I find those gifts really easy to accept. And I find they don't have the same weight. They're kind of these spontaneous things that happen. They're not connected to an anniversary or a birthday or Christmas or a moment in time that is significant, and therefore the gift is a part of that. So those kind of gifts I have no problem accepting. Like if somebody wants to buy me a cup of coffee, it's, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Yes, I would love that. And I choose to accept those things rather than say, no, I've got it, because it's a gift to be able to give. So when somebody wants to give me something like that, I don't want to rob them from the opportunity to bless me. Because when I want to do things for others in those same regards, I don't want that robbed from me, because it's such a blessing to be able to give. So it's almost as though it's the gifts that I have a hard time receiving are the ones that feel like they need to be significant, and when they're coming from people that are significant to me, like my parents or like my husband. And I find I have to almost warm up to the idea of the gift. There was this one time when I was finishing my bachelor degree, and my husband had bought me this gift. And when he gave it to me, it was in a beautiful box. And when I saw the shape of the box and it was covered in kind of like a velvet, I full on thought he bought me a necklace. And we didn't have a lot of money then. So when I saw the box, I assumed a sacrifice of him buying me a necklace. And I opened the box and it was pens. I didn't like the pens. I actually hated the pens. And when I thought about them, even for years after, I just hated them more. And I know this makes me sound petty, but I couldn't get over it. When I look back now, I think, oh my gosh, Amy, how could you be so awful? How could you be so hurtful? Because that was an extremely thoughtful gift. He was marking the end of an educational thing, and pens go with educational. Like, that makes sense. And I love to write. I am a pen and paper girl all the way. So the fact that he went through to choose a pen, or it was actually a collection of pens that he thought I would like there was a lot of thought that went into the gift. And we still joke about what a horrible gift it was. And it wasn't a horrible gift, but how I reacted and felt about the gift, definitely horrible. I just wanted to be known. I wanted to be known and surprised by the person who loves me the most. And I wanted that gift to showcase that I was loved and that I was known. And doesn't he know that I wouldn't like a pen like that? That's not the type of pen that I would choose. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? And that's why it's so frustrating that I can't shake it and I can't get over it, and that I have this aspect of myself that I don't like and I don't know how to change. I find it tiring and I find it exhausting. I remember this one Christmas, I believe I was 21, and the previous Christmas I wasn't home. I was traveling, and so I had spent that Christmas in a third world country doing volunteer work. And the following Christmas when I was home, my mom had given me a gift. And I remember it was the only gift that I really received from my parents at that time. We tended to do Christmas on a smaller scale by giving one gift. And I remember opening the gift, and it was a pair of mitts, and the mitts were covered, like they were sheep wool mitts, and very cozy and very warm. And my mom had really thought about that gift, and I loved it. I felt so thankful, and that entire Christmas, I had so much gratitude the entire time. And I don't know if it was the experience of being away, because it wasn't just the gifts that Christmas, it was the whole thing. I just loved being back with my family. I loved being in a country that had snow. And because where I had been the previous Christmas, there was no snow, but there were these poinsettia hedges. I had never seen flowers like that. Absolutely beautiful. So I don't know if it was the experience of being away that primed me to be so thankful for the gift. I don't know if it mattered what that gift would have been. I loved it. And I still have those mints to this day, 20 years later. And I remember how I felt when I received them. And I just felt so thankful. So when I think about that, I think, is this somehow connected to some sense of entitlement where I feel like I deserve to be given gifts that I'll like? And that one Christmas, did I not have that sense of entitlement because I knew what it was like to not spend Christmas and to not receive any gifts from my family? And is that the difference? Is that what this is about for me? That this sense that I'm entitled to getting good gifts? When I say that out loud, I feel like I'm having a bit of an epiphany that feels like it's kind of hitting the mark. That I have this sense of entitlement, that I deserve to be known, that I deserve to be loved in such a way that people will know what to give me. And even as I say that, it sounds bogus to me. Bogus because, not because I don't think it's true, but bogus because I have this idea that I should be entitled to that. You see, from an attachment lens, it's this idea that I want to be loved and I want to be known. And if you love me and if you know me, you will give a gift that I will love immediately, that I will love instantly. And oftentimes I have to warm up to things. So is that somehow indicating that it wasn't a good gift? And what about the piece that I don't always know? I don't always know what would be a good gift. And allowing someone else to think about what I could use, I may not know. And sometimes other people know. So if I could receive gifts from other people in a way of openness, my life would probably be richer, because it's oftentimes when we do things that we don't know that we like, or when we explore new things and are creative with it, that's where we can have richness of experience. So I'm almost robbing myself by not opening myself up to considering that other people may know things about me or have ideas for me that are not things that I wouldn't necessarily have for myself. So here's where I'm getting to. If this is stemming from a sense of entitlement that I deserve getting good gifts. I deserve having the people that love me know me and making decisions where I get good gifts. Then does that understanding help me to shake this feeling? Because I've never, ever liked that idea that I deserve something. It's one of those statements that actually bothers me. Why? Why do we feel we deserve things? Where does that even come from? I've always thought that odd. Like, oh, you deserve to have a good holiday, or you deserve to have a really great job, or you deserve it. And I've heard that phrase said at different times, and it's never sat well with me because I think, well, why do I deserve it over anyone else? Why do I deserve to have a break or to have some time off? Or I don't know. It's just something that doesn't sit right with me when I hear it. So when I say to myself, well, I deserve it, I should be entitled to having good gifts, it helps to put me into that frame of mind where, no, you don't necessarily. You don't deserve to have good gifts. That isn't necessarily a way that I want to see myself or look at myself. So here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that unpacking this idea that I feel entitled to good gifts will help me to get over the idea of entitlement. Because a gift is a gift. It's not something that you're supposed to be entitled to. It's supposed to be something that's freely given, without strings. And that's how I want to see gifts from the people that love me. I want to be able to receive gifts and feel thankfulness that I didn't necessarily deserve this and that I wasn't necessarily entitled to this, but someone chose to do this for me anyways, even though I wasn't entitled, even though I didn't necessarily deserve it, but simply because they love me and they want to do their best for me. Trying to let that settle into my spirit. I'm going to have to think up some ways of making sure that this resonates because I've gone on too long being ungrateful. I've gone on too long not being able to accept gifts. And I don't want to be like that. Not this birthday. Not this coming Christmas. Not anymore. I'm too old for this. I want this to sink in this time. It's not every episode where I don't feel like I have an answer. It's not every episode of The Art of Plenty where I figure this kind of stuff out in front of you. But that's what makes life life. I like to see it like art, like we're creating, and there's an aspect of trying to figure it out, of working on things and coming at it from different angles and stepping back and catching a new perspective. There's an art to having abundance in your life. There's an art to having plenty meaning enough, more than enough. And this episode of The Art of Plenty is about finding what's happening for me so that I can have more abundance, because this is an area in my life where I don't have abundance, where I don't have a good mindset. And I want that to shift because I want to be who I'm meant to be. And this is the kind of thinking where I can't receive gifts that actually holds me back. I don't know if this is speaking to someone else or just me. But I do know that I'm not alone in this because I have a very close friend who, like me, also really struggles to receive gifts from her loved ones. And it isn't a great feeling, especially when you love your loved ones in return. If this has spoke to you, share it. Because when you share about things, when you talk about things, it gets into your soul deeper. And when it gets in deeper, it has more chance at actually changing you. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk this out further with my mom and explore this with her. She often has a lot of insight. And this is something that I've had conversations with her about in the past. So I'm going to be sharing it with my mom to talk with her in greater detail about what I've discovered, that there's a sense of entitlement to why I can't receive gifts. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're listening. I'm glad that you are investing in yourself to try to make changes in your life and to improve parts of yourself that you maybe don't like, or that you want to see more abundance in, more plenty in. This podcast is meant to be entertainment. It's meant to be education. It's not designed to be or replace professional advice. If you need help, if you need to pull some of these stuff out that you're struggling with or flesh some of this out, seek out professional help. There's so many skilled professionals in the world that can help you dissect and get to things so that your life can be richer. Thank you for being here. My name's Amy McInnes, and I'm going to get better at receiving gifts. And this is the art of plenty.